Hello, Jaden Fox, and this is program 3. If you haven't seen the other 2 programs, and if you haven't downloaded the PDF book that comes with this, you'll want to do those 2 things first. This is program 3, recognizing and clearing the common false light constructs, paradigms. What I've been talking about in the previous programs is basically the energies of false light. Like what makes this energy unique or tangly. And the more you recognize its frequencies and its game, the easier it is to just step out of it and to choose something different. What do you do to clear this stuff? How do you get this out of your reality if you've gotten tangled in it? And to some degree, if you're alive on the planet, you've gotten tangled in it. At least a little bit. And if you've been in the spiritual New Age program, if you've bought into that, you've tangled into it a lot of it. And that's how I knew about it, because I kind of sidestepped the religious stuff, the old time religious stuff. That just seemed really obviously funky. But I got snagged on the New Age stuff, and I bought into it lock, stock, and barrel. And so as I untangled myself, I began to kind of write down, like, what was I untangling and how did I do it? And I've been helping other people to do that ever since, and I decided, hey, it's time to share this. So that's what this program is about. Program 3, common false light spiritual constructs. So these are mostly from the New Age community. You'll recognize these. So the first one of the big ones is the chakra system. So it's supposedly these energetic centers in your body that you meditate on, and you engage in a certain way, and you do these processes with. So I want to ask you guys, so Truth, how much does the chakra system function to your advantage? And how much does the chakra system engage synthetic controls to stop you? And which of those feels lighter to you?
The controlling me feels lighter.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, the control is lighter.
Yeah. And so how much is the chakra system designed to empower you and or your body? And how much is the chakra system an overlay to drain your natural power centers? And which feels lighter?
Get drain.
Drain?
To drain.
Yeah, I get
The
drain.
drain is lighter.
Yeah. Anybody else? This is where I'm looking for your participation. And you can have the other viewpoint. There's not the right or wrong. Just looking for what's light for you.
Jaden, for me, not so much anymore, because I work very much within my own energy field.
Nice.
Without.
But when you look at which one of those statements is lighter, what do you find? So if I say the chakra system is designed to empower you or your body, if I say the chakra system is an overlay to drain your natural power centers, which of those 2 feels lighter?
Primarily, yes. Primarily, yes.
Okay.
To drain it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So what is?
I get 50-50. I get about 50-50.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's do a little bit of clearing around this. So what is all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all this, and all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable energies around this? And can we put all that in a pile out front?
Yes, I choose it.
Yeah, I choose it. And encapsulate all those energies from down below in the pile, back behind in the pile, all the energies from above in the pile, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, encapsulate all. Wow. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing and vaporize, liquefy it?
Yes,
I choose
I choose it. And vaporize. Wow. So my interesting point of view about the chakra system, and there's other people who have this point of view, I'm not the only one, but that there's, when I perceive it, and I always struggled with it, and I didn't understand why I struggled with it. And one of the things that I struggled with is there was this overlay that was related to it. So so if you've engaged or focused on the chakra system to your disadvantage, allow yourself to perceive what are all the implanted constructs, systems, and overlays that have been installed or that you took in or that you accepted, that you received, that are not to your advantage. Whew. And everything, all that is, can we put that in the pile?
Yes.
Yeah, I choose that. And encapsulate all, everything down below, back behind, up above, left, right, and everything from inside. Just grab all those overlays. Whew. Put those in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing and let go of it?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Ooh. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Ooh. So another really popular construct is something called the pineal gland activation or meditation. And they're usually mostly they're in meditations where they have you connect to some higher source or some other energy and bring it into your third eye and activate your pineal gland. So truth, how much do these connect you to your authentic self? And how much do these connect you to a synthetic control system?
Well,
Oh.
And what is all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke spans, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies around all this? Oh. And can we put all that in the pile?
yes,
Yes.
I choose that.
Yep, I choose that. And encapsulate, down below, back behind, up above, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes,
Yeah.
I choose
Yeah, I
it.
choose that. Ooh. Vaporize, vaporize. And what are all the entities, demonics, creatures, coalition aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive energies or non-contributive frequencies? And let's freeze, tap down, freeze, tap down, freeze, tap down, freeze, freeze, tap down, freeze, all, freeze, tap down, freeze. And where were we, the infinite beings, when they were created, assembled, modified, gilded, sourced after inception? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate from all those points, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all. Oh, and can we banish all these energies from all of our planets, realities, universes, parallels, simulations of virtual reality worlds?
Yes,
Yep.
I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Prime Creator, enable Prime Creator, banish all these energies and do this now. Banish, anguish, banish, anguish, banish, anguish. Resend, book, you can't reclaim, vaporize, goodbye, null void, null void, null void. Blah. Null void, null void, null void. Seven being seven by the freeze, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize. Okay.
Oh.
And so, on the pineal gland stuff, what are all the pineal construct structures, agreements, activations? What is everything that was done if you've engaged that? What is everything that was triggered, activated, installed, overlaid? And everything that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes.
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. And encapsulate all that, everything from down below, back behind, up above, left, right, inside, everything, any overlays that are in your head, just kind of any energies that don't belong to you, that aren't authentic to you, any energies that are false light energies, just kind of pull those out, put them in the pile. If you're not sure, take them out first, see what it's like without it, and you can always bring it back if you decide you liked it. And in the pile, and everything that, all that is, can we just try and create your attachment to all that stuff?
Yes,
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy. Resend, book, you can't reclaim, vaporize, liquefy, null void, null void, null void, null void. And just let all that go. And bodies, let all that go. None of that is yours. 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 Bodies, let it go. 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 Doesn't belong to you. Doesn't belong to you. Doesn't belong to you. Let it go. 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 Very good. One of the other ones that grabbed me was higher self or soul meditations. Like the concept is that you have this higher self or this soul that is outside of you, and these meditations are to get you to bring that something from outside of you into you, and then to shift your focus to that being like your main thing. Like you're going to listen to everything that says, and you're going to align with that, and that's supposed to do all this amazing stuff for you. But truth, how much do those things, those meditations and processes that they do, connect you to your higher self? See which is lighter. How much do they connect you to a synthetic control system? And which feels lighter for you?
Synthetic control system was lighter, but they're both light.
Okay. And anything?
For me.
Yep. And anyone else?
I maybe not synthetic control system, but I sort of feel that when I gave myself away to a higher self, then who was that? Like, who then took over? So I'm not sure whether it was a synthetic control system. I get that maybe it was a whole lot of beings, including a synthetic control system.
Yeah. Good catch. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the concept, is that, and you may be connecting also to your authentic, I call it your infinite being, just to kind of totally change the words into something that, and to me, infinite being is something that like you already have. You don't have to go out and get it. Like the illusion is that you don't have access to it, when like you are that, like it is you already. It's something you just choose to focus inside on more than go outside and bring something in. So you may already be doing that, but it's this manipulation, this distortion that causes you to look for something higher, better, more divine outside of you and bring that in. And in many cases, it becomes an energy that you bring in that attempts to take control over your system and tell you a different way of living. And it's actually part of what I call a technologically propagated synthetic soul matrix. It's like, it's a replication of the way souls are handled in this universe, but it's done in a technological way. And so it's actually a synthetic construct, a synthetic reality that you're attaching into or threading yourself into. So what are, if you have done that in some way, what are all the higher self constructs, structures, agreements, soul constructs, soul agreements that you've connected to, engaged, bought into, dedicated your life to, or anything else that is not to your advantage? And everything, all that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yeah.
I choose that. And encapsulate. And everything down below, back behind, up above, left, and the right, and everything from inside, everything from, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile, encapsulate, freeze. And can we shrink all that stuff down, your attachment to it, shrink it all down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. And vaporize, liquefy. Another one that I struggled with but didn't totally buy into was law of abundance and law of attraction practices. And it's what Gary talks about as the lie mixed with the truth. But the general concept here is that if you follow it, the whole concept, the whole manipulation of it, because there is an actual, I'm not going to call it law of abundance. There is a natural way that energies engage themselves here, and there are ways you can engage them that will support you in a way more than if you don't engage them. It's just basically getting in alignment with the natural flow, the natural order of the authentic planet here that is here to support you. But what if you follow the law of abundance practices that are there, that actually get you to put your hope in some power that is outside of you, that if you just ask in the right way, or you just do this in a certain correct way, all of a sudden stuff starts to magically show up at your doorstep without you taking any action. And there's always this the kind of core piece that's like, no action is required. If you do this process correctly, like your doorbell rings and people just start handing you money, right? Like all the good stuff just starts to come. And that, like, you don't want to put that down, or all of a sudden you're gonna lose the good stuff. Like, so it's this tricky thing that has you believing in this higher power, higher energy that is bringing you good stuff without you doing anything about it. That's the tangle. You feel the kind of gnarly tangle in that. And so what is all of that? And let's put all that in the pile. All the weird stuff, everything that's not a contribution, put that in the pile, encapsulate. And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, and detectable energies around this? All the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, and undisclosed energies and frequencies. Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes,
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. And all in the pile, encapsulate all. Everything down below, back behind, up above, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, encapsulate all, encapsulate all. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
yes,
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yeah, I do.
Vaporize, goodbye. Send vocal camera claim, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize. Wow. Because it's like the way this reality is set up, it's not about just being, which is what the law of abundance is. It's just a state of being, a state of grace, which is another buzzword that we talked about, that brings the good stuff, the divine stuff to you. But this reality is a reality of being and doing. And so in this reality, you have to both be and do in order to engage creation here. And so the manipulation there is that you don't have to do anything. Matter of fact, they encourage you not to do anything in the kind of twisty way that that's unfolded.
And Jaden, I found myself when in this space, people practicing in this space, judging myself because I'm not congruent, or I'm not aligned, which is why things aren't showing up. And then it's a fast slippery slope into judging myself.
Yeah.
And I've just been manipulated.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's a trap that, like, it makes you wrong unless you are aligning with it completely and totally. And when you actually align with it completely and totally, it makes you ineffective. And what if that's his design? So the fifth one in this kind of major paradigm of things is engaging ascended masters, angels, gods, or anything else supposedly more evolved than you are. For years, I worked with Archangel Michael and worked with all these other energies that are supposedly blah, 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 blah. But truth, how much are these ascended masters, angels, capable of accessing? Allows you to perceive what is everything they're capable of accessing or accomplishing. Just that field of energy. And then how much are you, the infinite being, capable of accessing or accomplishing?
That really expanded when you said that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way bigger.
Yeah, that was more powerful.
So now allow yourself to look at how big of a point of view do ascended masters and angels have? Like, what is their total body of information they have access to? And how big is the point of view that you, the infinite being, have? And what do you notice?
I'm just aware now of how much more expanded my awareness has always been, and how quite narrow the perspectives, and also the taking out. I always felt like I was being taken into some ethereal world
Yeah.
that only they existed in, and I could never exist in, and they had all the answers, and what would I know? And yeah.
Yep. And that ethereal world there is what I call synthetic reality. That's
For me, Jaden,
yes.
it was how much are they aligned with the false God energy and working for the false God energy, and therefore restricting.
I'm not catching the words you're saying there.
How much are they, like Archangel Michael, etc., aligned with the false God energy? That whole fabrication that we've been taught about God,
Yes.
through religion and that sort of thing, and how much are they aligned with that, and therefore restricting what we can know and what they think they can only deliver, whereas we can actually discover everything if we choose to.
Well said. That feels really light. Yeah. It's like all of those energies to me are part of the entire system that I'm calling false light. Because they work together. They're not always on the same team, but they play the same game with each other. They work together in a way. So one more question. How much are the Ascended Masters or Angels intending to authentically empower you? And how much are Ascended Masters or Angels intending to limit or place controls on you? Ooh.
That's really light.
Control.
Yeah.
Control.
Yeah. Yeah. As Colleen said, it's taking you into this limited paradigm rather than inviting you to connect to the truth of what you know and the information that you as an infinite being have access to. That what if it goes way beyond? In my awareness, these beings, ascended masters, angels, and all that, are actually constructs of a very small reality, fairly close to, I'll say it's fairly close to this universe. You go beyond this universe, so it allows you to perceive all the ascended masters, angels, and even gods. And now allow yourself to expand and don't connect to them, just perceive them. And that now expand to bigger than this universe and bigger than the multiverses, all the multiple universes. And do you notice where they are now?
Yep, very small locus.
Yeah.
They're very small. And now
Very tiny.
Now we're going to take you further. So expand to bigger than the Beyondiverse, and beyond that, and beyond that, and beyond that, and double that, double that, double that, double that, double that. There you go. And bigger than the infinite realms, and connect in to the infinite being that's already there with you. And connect in to the infinite planet that you're a part of here. You feel that feeling? Like, in my reality, that's like a nurturing feeling, like what if that's you? Like the magnitude of you compared to the magnitude of these tiny little. So
I feel kind of like I'm being rocked like a baby or something.
Yeah, because it's that energy is just nurturing. It's like it's nurturing for you and your body. Yeah, nice.
Jaden, I got something blocking me. Can we clear that? It's been messing with me, blocking me for like the last 5 minutes that you've been.
Okay. Yep. So what is everything that's up or active? Is it active manipulation? Is it fixed point of view? Agreements? bindings, rebindings? What are fixed points of view? So what are all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, rejections, separations, form, structure, significance? Oh, what is everything that you decided
Whoa.
that all of this means that it doesn't actually mean?
Ooh.
Wow. And this is for everybody. What is everything that you decided that this stuff doesn't mean that it actually does mean? Whoa.
Ooh. Yeah.
And everything that all that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yeah, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that.
And encapsulate all that and everything. And what is all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, were Nikki's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all this? Wow. Can we put all that in the pile?
Yeah, I choose that.
Yep, I choose that. And encapsulate all that. And everything down below, back behind, up above, from the left, from the right, from way out front, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. Take a step back from that pile. And can we shrink all this stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. And what are all the entities, demonics, creatures, coalition aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive energies and frequencies? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, freeze, tap down, trace, scan, idea. Yeah. And where were we, the infinite beings, when they were created, assembled, modified, gilded, sourced at inception? Because it's like, from our expanded point of view as an infinite being, we could actually watch them be created and watch
Wow.
them be formed. And as they're forming, we can go, okay, no, mark them, mark them, mark them, mark them, mark them, mark them. And then we show up in our normal, we come back here into our reality and go, okay, everything that's marked, can we destroy and create our attachment to that and banish it?
Yes,
I choose
I
Yeah.
choose that.
I choose that. Prime creator and elbow prime creator, banish all these energies from all dimensions, realities, universes, parallels, virtual reality worlds. Do this now. Banish anchors, banish anchors, banish anchors. Resend Wookiee camera claim, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify. And the concept behind all of that is, what if there are some energies that are non-symbiotic, that like will never fit in here and don't have an intention to fit in here? Their job is actually more to break down and take apart the symbiotic, natural, organic, biological system that's here. And they're just like a, I don't want to use the word negative force, but that's the concept. It's like they're a negative force that just keeps dismantling, and they'll never fit in and be a contribution. Where you look at the nature of nature, and it all finds its place and its niche, and it works together symbiotically and harmoniously. Like, that's the nature of this planet. And what if there are some things that we as infinite beings can perceive that don't belong here on this planet, in this universe, in your reality? And when you notice those, that's what that clearing is about. It's like, out. No, you guys don't belong here. Like, you don't fit here. And there are some things that don't fit, but might fit someday. And there are some things that will never fit. And what if, from an infinite being perspective, you can tell the thing, you can tell. And so that's what that clearing is about. It's about kicking out things that don't fit. It's like, this is not your home. Go back to your home. You're in the wrong place. Go back to your home. That's the concept behind that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I have an Ascended Masters Oracle cards, and I was wondering, could I still use it to my advantage? Could I still use them to my advantage?
Well, so ask Truth, can you use that to your advantage or something else?
Well, I'm getting I can use it to my advantage, but am I being messed with?
It doesn't, I don't get a strong read on it either way, honestly.
All right.
Once you're aware of the tangly bits, you'll just choose to avoid them. So, yeah, I don't have a point of view on that.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't feel like it's a big deal either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting to. Thank you, Jaden.
Cool. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so number 6, reincarnation. Reincarnation is this belief system that there's some natural process where you have lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and you're working to evolve, you're working to grow, you're working to come back as a more evolved being, and ultimately someday you're going to get so good you'll be able to leave here. Like, you're stuck here until you get it right. That's the belief system here. And that it's a natural system. And what if that's a lie? What if there is a system here, but it's actually not a natural system? It's an overlaid belief system to entrap you here. So what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking around all that? All the Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies. Can we put all that in the pile? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
choose that. And body, let go of all that. Vaporize, goodbye, vaporize. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours. So let's check it. So, truth, how much is there a natural reincarnation system on this planet? And how much is the reincarnation system a synthetic system of entrapment?
Wow.
Oh.
Feel that information? And what if you're believing in and accepting in reincarnation is actually what gives them permission to keep you bound into that system, or it's one of the elements? There are other agreements that occur, but what if that's one of the elements? Like, you're like, well, of course I would come back because that's natural. Or what if it's not? Everything, all that is, let's put all that in the pile. Everything down below, back behind, up above, front, inside, outside. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye. Karma. So, karma is this belief system that there's good things you can do and there's bad things you can do, and that there's some divine being like Santa Claus or something that's keeping track of what you've done that's good. There's a scoring system. What you've done that's bad, and if you do enough good things, that you'll actually be able to leave this system, or you'll at least have a better life, or you'll go to heaven, or you'll have less suffering. And if you do a lot of bad things, that's going to come back to you, and you're going to experience more problems as a result of that. But what if this is all kind of a sleight of hand to justify the manipulations of your reality? So these manipulators change things and alter things and basically create a living hell for some people. And this belief system causes you to believe that you're the reason for it. You're responsible for it. It's because you did something bad somewhere along the line, and now you're paying for that. Right? And then if you were to follow the rules and do things right and good, you wouldn't have these bad things happen to you. And so everything this brings up, and what is everything that this brings up and everything about this system? And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around this? Can we put all that in the pile? Yeah.
Yes, I do that.
And encapsulate all. And everything down below. Back behind. Up above. Way out front. From the left. From the right. Inside. Outside. Everything remaining all in the pile. All in the pile. All in the pile. Encapsulate. Take a step back from that stinky pile. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes.
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye. And all the entities, demonic creatures, coalition aliens, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, all prime creator, banish all these energies, do this now, banishing, banishing. And truth, how much, let's check this. So truth, how much is karma, or heaven, hell, a natural aspect of this planet or realm? And how much is karma, or heaven, hell, a synthetic belief system designed to entrap you? Ooh.
Oh.
Wow.
There's some information. Yeah. So what if it's your believing in these constructs that basically allows you to buy into the whole paradigm? And once you start to go, no, sorry, not buying it, there's less influence that they can have in your reality, and there's more awareness that you have around the manipulations that are occurring, because there's no longer a justification for it. So it's no longer hidden in these interesting belief systems.
Wow.
So I want to go into a list of, as I've worked with clients over the years, these are a list of clearings and kind of core issues that bound people up. And some of them came just from life in this duality and life in the older system that pretty much everybody has engaged to the right wrong game here in some way. And some of them came from the more new age constructs. But they're just in general, let's just start clearing. So how many aspects, or what are all the aspects, parts, or fractions of yourself that are currently in service to the false light in any way? Wow. And everything that all that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes.
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. And
Yeah,
encapsulate
I
all
choose
that. And everything down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. And just for time's sake, I'm going to condense both these clearings together, but normally you might want to do them in 2 steps. But everything, I'll do it in 2 steps here. So everything that, all that is, can we destroy and create your attachment to that?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. Vaporize. And now can we destroy and create all the agreements you made with those? And retract, rescind, revoke, recant, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make null and void all those agreements.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, and vaporize. So what I notice is there's the attachments that you have to something, and then there are the ways in which those are attached to you. So the rescind, revoke, recant, reclaim, that those are ways in which they've kind of manipulated you in a way where they're attached, they feel like they're attaching to you. They're agreements that you made that, like, I will always hold on to you. So by releasing those, we're taking what feels like the ways they hold on to you, even though technically it's a manipulation where they've tricked you into holding on to it. They can't actually hold on to you at all. But they can manipulate you into thinking that's useful and binding to them. So that's what those agreements are. So what are all the false light attunements you've undergone, or false light's initiation or rites you have taken? Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
Yep, I choose that. And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. Wow. And can we destroy and create your attachment to all that stuff?
Yes, I
Yes,
choose.
I choose that.
Yes, I choose that. And let's shrink all that down. And resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, and banish, anchors, banish, anchors, banish, anchors, banish, anchors. And what are all the allegiances, alliances, loyalties, diplomatic relations, entry agreements, exit agreements, divine, golden, billion, trillion year agreements that you have that bind you to false light in any way? Wow. And can we put all that stuff in the pile?
Yep.
Yes, I choose that.
Yep, I choose that. And encapsulate all that. so it can't run away, freeze. Everything down below, back behind, up above. Ugh. And up above to me is like the realm of false light. Like, you know, you're always looking up to pray to God or the angels. It's the synthetic false frequency that's up there in the sky, in the pile. From the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less? Can we rescind, revoke, or can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and create, make null and void all the agreements associated with all that, and shrink it all down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose
I
that.
choose that. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, liquefy, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. Wow. And where is everywhere that you've been tricked into accepting false light or any false light player as your God, Savior, or Creator? Oh, that's a weird energy. Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yep.
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
And encapsulate all, and everything down below. Wow, back behind, from the left, the right, blah. From above, inside, outside, everything remaining. And oh man, I feel this kind of weird stuff here. Let's shrink this down first. And can we rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make, null, void all the agreements associated with all this stuff?
Yes,
Yes,
I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. And rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, liquefy. And what are all the entities, demonics, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitic beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive frequencies or energies? Pre-tag, bring caps at all. Freeze, tap down, trace, trash, scan, ID all. What is everything you agreed you would do for them? They agreed they would do for you. Was the benefit or value of engaging them not the benefit or value of engaging them? Wow, can we destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose
Yes,
that.
I choose that. Resend, evoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. And can we banish all these energies from all planets, realities, virtual realities, worlds, simulations, and do it now?
Yes, I choose it.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yes.
Prime Creator, now
Yeah,
Prime Creator, banish all these energies. Do this now. Bash, anguish, resend, evoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, liquefy, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And anything that's like rooted there, like it's been there a long time, just grab it by the roots, rip it out, and hurl it out of this universe. Go home. Go somewhere else. You don't belong here. And a lot of these are actually program constructs that have been so invested in that they become an actual thing. It's like Santa Claus. Like so many people who believed in Santa Claus for so long, there is actually an energy of Santa Claus that exists for real, but it's more programmed and it's synthetic, and it's not necessarily going to come down your chimney, but there is actually a physical thing that is now Santa Claus that people have just invested so much focus on. These gods can have that same thing. And they're just a programmed reality that somebody dreamed up a while ago synthetically and got enough people to put energy on it that it sort of became real-ish. So they exist, but they're not what we were told they are. Anyway.
Wow.
So what are all the disguised memory implants? So you can have memories. Often people mistake these for what they call past life memories. They're false, I call them disguised memory implants. They're false memories that can get installed into your consciousness that actually feel like a story that was part of your life or your existence, but they don't at the same time. Like when you connect into them, they don't have depth to them. The story, they don't have backstory. They're superficial, but you can have these installed. False Light likes to install them. They're synthetic modules. Allow yourself to perceive what are all the disguised memory implants that you have that are designed to make you believe that the False Light agenda is true or valid. They're the stories you would have that back up this whole system. And can we put all that stuff out front?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I choose that. And encapsulate all that. Everything from down below, all the libraries of implanted memories. And back behind, and up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, all the ones from inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile. And can we shrink all those down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
Smaller, half, less than nothing. Vaporize. And let's bring in I call it a univac. It's like a black hole with a big long vacuum tube. And let's clean up all the remaining stuff left around. Ready? Everything from down below. And all the library racks of old memory stuff, just all that equipment. And inside you. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. I feel all sparkly clean after that. Cool. So how many DNA alterations have you allowed or undergone to sync you or your body up to false light energies or frequencies? Blah. Everything,
Yeah.
all that stuff is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
And encapsulate everything from down below, back behind, up above, left, the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, encapsulate all, encapsulate all, encapsulate all. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yep.
Yes,
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Resend, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. Cool. So what is everything that lures, seduces, binds, anchors, or frequencies? Well, let me explain this here. So what false light is, in my perception, is this synthetic reality that mirrors or attempts to mirror this reality and attempts to lure you outside of the natural, biotic, biological, nurturing, symbiotic reality that's here, that your body is made of, into a synthetic realm. It's always about looking up and connecting into those higher frequencies and raising your vibration. And you can actually take yourself out of the normal reality and into a synthetic reality, which is what they're hoping you would do. And your body can't function in a synthetic reality. It starts to kind of do weird stuff. That's where bipolar, a lot of bipolar stuff, false light bipolar comes in. So there are these energies that lure and seduce you and then trap you there. And they want you to match your frequency to the synthetic range of frequencies. And it's actually like a simulated virtual reality world that you're connecting to. It's real. It's like Santa Claus. It's real, but it's not biologically real. I'm not saying Santa Claus is, I'm sorry. I don't want to dash your hopes there. But it's like, it takes you into this synthetic realm where if you align with that, you're no longer connected to the authentic planet that's nurturing and supporting you. So what is everything that lures, seduces, binds, anchors, or frequency matches you into synthetic realities, simulations, or virtual reality worlds? Oh.
Does that include love?
There's a lot of synthetic love. We'll look at that in the fourth episode. We're going to look all about love. Yeah. Yeah. So let's put all anything that's synthetic, anything that seduces, binds, all in the pile. And let go of that. Body let go of all that stuff. Encapsulate everything from down below. Back behind. Up above. Way out front. From the left. From the right. Inside. Outside, everything remaining, encapsulate all that, and body let go of all that, It doesn't belong to you. None of that is yours. None of that is yours. None of that is yours. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yep.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yes.
And retract, rescind, revoke, or can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. All those agreements, gone.
Jaden, can I ask a question about that?
Sure.
What I found is the more clearing I was doing, and particularly which involved my body, the less I was able to perceive my natural surroundings. I used to be able to easily just perceive the energy of the ocean and the trees and the mountains, and now it's like there's just this plastic
Synthetic.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much were you clearing how do I want to say it? So, Truth, how much were you clearing stuff that wasn't biologically, authentically you, and how much were you clearing stuff that was actually you? I don't know if I worded that totally right.
Yeah.
So the sense that I get is that the synthetic will keep attempting to get you to clear your connection and attachment to the natural world.
Yes.
And so what it sounds like is that there's some energy that was in your space that kept basically twisting your perspective to go, oh, that's not yours. It's natural, but that's not yours. Let that go. It's not going to take you to that high synthetic place. So it twists the whole story around backwards. And then as you described, like you can't, like you feel disconnected from this world. It's actually totally opposite of that. And the easiest way to resolve that is to do this, is to keep letting go of things that attach you to synthetic realities, but actually just go out in nature and connect with nature. Go hug a tree. Like go, especially where there aren't people and there isn't Wi-Fi and cell towers. Like if you can go into more remote parts, you can feel that, just that vibrant stuff. And from that space, let go of everything that's synthetic.
Yeah. And I've been like going to mine in the ocean and just lying on the side of the mountain.
Nice. Yeah. It's all a mental distortion that causes you to lose track of what's real and focus into synthetic realities. And that's the whole false light is about that. It wants you to embody in the synthetic range. And I bought into a lock, stock, and barrel, and I lost track of nature. Like I didn't feel like I was connected anymore. I didn't feel like I belonged on this planet anymore. I didn't feel like I was part of this planet. And it literally will take you into these synthetic realms where you start to feel like they do. You start to feel foreign and alien and like you're not part of this world. That's the agenda, is to take you out of your body and out of this reality, and then they can move in.
Yeah.
Cool. And we'll clear the rest of that stuff. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. That's the dance here. You're seeing it. So what is all the stupidity that we have been given or have been believing as if it's real or true? And while we're at it, what is also all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies? Whoa, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that.
I choose that.
And encapsulate all. Take a step back from that. Wow, everything down below, back behind, up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, encapsulate all, encapsulate all. Wow, take a step back from that pile. And can we shrink that whole pile down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
Half size, half size, half size. Vaporize. And body, let go of all the stupidity, synthetic stuff here. And actually, when you get to the higher levels, you start to go higher levels. When you can get out of this, you can start to look at it and go, well, like, what are they actually doing? Why would they bother? Like, you ever wonder, like, why anybody would bother with you? In the beginning, when I first started engaging this, I'm like, I'm just me. Like, why would anyone care? Like, why would they go through effort? Like, I had difficulty believing that anyone would bother to waste their time messing with me personally, until I started to dig deeper, and I found that they actually found something very valuable in me. And I would say that probably have found something very valuable in you. And we kind of classify that in general as your gifts and abilities. And what I have found as a general whole is that what if we as infinite beings and certain groups of us have access to certain things on this planet? We have access to certain capacities with time, with change, with altering things. And what if those forces have actually been seeking to utilize or use those for their purposes? And I think that's Jewel. If you could mute yourself there if you're still clearing. So how much are your gifts and capacities been modified, or where is everywhere they've been modified so the false light can access or utilize them directly or without your input or knowing? Oh.
Yeah.
And everything, all that is, can we put all that in the pile, all those manipulations?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. And encapsulate all, and everything from down below, and back behind, up above, bulldozer. From the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, encapsulate, take a step back. Wow. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yeah.
And resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And body, let all that stuff go. And so, truth, where is everywhere that your gifts and capacities are being used against you? Ooh. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yep. Choose
Yeah,
it.
I choose that.
I choose that. And encapsulate everything down below, back behind, up above, left, the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, encapsulate all that. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, vaporize, say goodbye, vaporize, say goodbye, vaporize, say goodbye, vaporize. And when I talk in the book, I have this picture in the book. If you haven't seen it yet, you want to download the ebook that comes with this program. It has more content than the videos alone will have in them. There's this thing there's this picture in there I talk about. It's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all illusion. Like, they create these illusions, and phenomenally, it's not just smoke and mirrors. They literally will use mirrors and magic to distort your perception of things. It's like you have the capacity to think of it as like a radar, or it's like some kind of signal that you can send out to perceive something. You can send out or emanate energies and then see what bounces back. They can put mirrors in your reality to reflect and distort what goes out. Like, you can have, you ever go to a fun house and you see those concave mirrors, or those, well, I don't know how to show it on those concave mirrors or those convex mirrors that go the opposite way. And like, if your energy was going into a convex mirror, it would have this weird effect. If it was going into a concave mirror, it would have a different weird effect. So allow yourself to perceive what are all the mirrors that are installed in your reality, in your energy, in your body. and all the magical devices and all the technologies. We'll throw that in there. What are all the mirrors, magic, and technological devices that false light has installed to limit or contain you? Whoa. And can we put all those out front?
Yep.
Yep, I choose that. Whoa. Encapsulate all that, everything down below, and back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, all everything from inside, outside everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile. And can we shrink all that down to this? Nothing.
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. Resend book, you can't look at Brad, sick of no void, no void. And the other thing you can do with mirrors that I like to do is once you're aware of mirrors, and you may still have some left, so allow yourself to perceive any mirrors that are functioning in your reality that are not to your advantage. And I don't mean in your 3D reality, I mean in your energetic reality, that they're like inserted things to manipulate you. Just allow yourself, don't think about it, just perceive them. And what's your most fun way to destroy mirrors?
Break them.
Break them. Yeah. So allow yourself to build up this energy pulse that you're going to send out, and you're going to shatter all those mirrors. Ready? You feel the difference there? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And let's grab a vacuum and clean it up. There we go. Wow. I don't know, there's something about breaking mirrors. And I always love that, if you break a mirror, there's 7 years bad luck. I'm like, okay, so somebody doesn't want you to break mirrors. What is that? Like, why would that be in our culture to not break a mirror? I wonder. Okay. So, inculcations, you can have things, it's kind of like, an inculcation is like you're put in a blender, like you picture a smoothie or something. You could put all these vegetables and carrots and all these different things in a blender, and like if you just shake it up, it's like still a carrot and still celery and lettuce and whatever, like mango, it's still all its thing. Now you put frappe on for a while and you can't tell one thing from the next. It's just this green sludge. That's an inculcation. So what are all the inculcations that are binding you to the false light or their agents?
Oh.
And everything all that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes.
Yep,
I choose that. And encapsulate and everything down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside everything remaining, all the inculcations, all the little pieces of things that are in your reality that just don't belong to you. They're false light. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yeah.
Yep, I choose it.
I choose
Yes,
that.
I choose
Resend, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just try and create null void, null void, null void, null void. There we go. And where's everywhere that you accepted, connected, or internalized a soul that is actually owned and managed by the false light? So it's part of that synthetic soul matrix. Where's everywhere that you have in you a piece of soul, which is actually what they'll do. They'll invite you to bring in some synthetic token, put it in you, and then once you believe that to be your soul, you're investing energy in it. It's actually part of my point of view, an energy harvesting system. But where is everywhere that you accepted, connected to, or internalized a soul fragment, or we'll say false light component that's actually owned and managed by the false light, and it's not designed to your benefit?
Oh.
And everything that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yeah.
Yes,
I choose
I
that.
Yeah, I choose that. And encapsulate everything down below, back behind, up above, left, the right, inside, way out front, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile, everything all in the pile. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I do
Yep.
that.
And will you also now destroy and create your attachment to any soul-related things, false light-related things that don't serve you?
Yep.
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. And shrink down to less than nothing. Boo. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, and null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void.
Jada, can I ask a question about that?
Sure.
Did that include souls that, that we may have misidentified or identified as being walk-in souls or previous occupants or extra people in a hotel, and where you can't actually ever get rid of them, even though you keep clearing them or new ones show up?
Yeah, so that's a much bigger topic. I would say it's different but related.
Thank you.
Different but related, and I'd so love to go into that topic, but I'm not going to because it's a side topic from this one.
oh, good, but thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah. But it's a great topic, yes. And you can actually get to a place where, for the most part, you can get rid of all of those things. They stop coming back. Yeah, it's a big conversation. It would take multiple hours, but we can have that conversation someday. Yeah, thank you. So where's everywhere that you've accepted, connected to, or internalized a higher self that's actually owned and managed by the false light? I think we actually cleared that before. I don't feel a lot of energy on it. If you find that any of these read for you, I would go back to them and keep, like, once a day for a while, go back and just scan down the list and clear anything that still reads for you. We cleared that earlier. What are all the agents of false light that have moved into your body or taken over ownership of your body? And what is everything that allows them to maintain that ownership? And this is another big one, but we're just going to grab it here. And everything, all that is, let's put that in the pile. Whoa. Encapsulate everything down below, back behind, up above, way out front, the left, the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, encapsulate all that. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, sickify, vaporize, sickify, vaporize, sickify, vaporize, sickify. What are all the implanted or overlaid constructs, structures, adaptations, mutations, systems that were installed by the false light? And what are all the constructs, structures, adaptations, mutations, systems that you install to manage or deal with the false light energies? Okay, that's more. And can we put all that stuff in the pile?
Yep, I choose it.
Yep, I choose that. And encapsulate all. And everything down below. If you need to, use a bulldozer. And back behind. Up above. From the front. Left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yep, I choose
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Boo. Resend, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And what are all the entities, demonics, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive energies or frequencies? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, freeze, tap down, trace, stress, scan, ID all, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, freeze, tap down, freeze, tap down, freeze. Wow. And can we banish all these energies from everything?
Yes, I do
yes,
that.
I choose that.
Or anything you want to. Prime Creator now, but Prime Creator, banish all these energies. Do this now. Banish, anchors, banish, anchors, banish, anchors. Resend, book, you can't reclaim, vaporize, sickify, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. Whoa, yeah. Okay. I just have to perceive, what are all the manipulations that caused you to surrender your will or control to the false light? Wow. Wow. Because whether you bought into the good, bad, right, wrong paradigm, which most people on the planet have bought into sometime, like you've let go of some of your will or some of your control of doing what you prefer to do or what you prefer to be as a result of following the rules, those constructs that were made up. Or if you're in the false light, there's a whole lot of constructs and manipulations that are constantly inviting you to surrender your will, surrender your control to this higher force, this divine power, this otherworldly intelligence, and allow this synthetic reality to begin taking over your life. So what are all the manipulations that caused you to surrender your will or control to the false light or any of these programs or things? And everything, all that is, and all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, renegades, commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies, all that, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. In the pile, freeze lock. Everything from down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, encapsulate all. Blah. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yep.
Yes, I choose that.
Yep, I choose that. Boo. And resend, invoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create null, void, null, void, null, void, all those agreements, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And what are all the creation points for those surrenderings and all the modification points for those surrenderings? So every place where you created surrendering to the false light, and all of the little pieces that led you up to that, all the modifications of your reality that caused you to keep going towards that decision. All the creation and modification points for surrendering, can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
Yep, I choose that. Encapsulate all. Everything down below, back behind, up above, left, the right, and inside, outside, everything remaining in the pile. Can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize, goodbye, vaporize. No void, no void, no void, no void, no void, no void, no void. Okay. Fantasy realities. So it's common anytime, picture somebody who's I don't know, we want to picture that. Let me just say, I was going to walk you into a picture we don't need to go into. If anytime that you're in a space where you've let go of your control or your will, what's a natural response to a lack of freedom is going up into your imagination and creating these, what I call fantasy realities, or these realms of basically imaginary worlds that you can create in, that are spacious and that go beyond the limited reality. So what I noticed for me is that because I had so gotten myself locked down, I was totally living in these imaginary fantasy realities that I created and that had my rules. They're kind of like test realities that we can, as infinite beings, explore with, create inside those and kind of pretend or see how things are going to work out, but they don't actually engage the real physical reality. They're not actually co-creative with the biological, natural universe and world reality here. So what happens is, a symptom is if you find that you're trying to create in this world, and no matter what you do, you can't seem to create, like if you're doing money thing and you find you can't seem to create money, how much are you creating in a fantasy reality? And how much are you creating in the authentic reality? And if fantasy reality is lighter for you, you might want to clear those. So as long as you have those, you'll default back into those because you're kind of conditioned to use those. When you clear those, it causes you to start going, oh, wait a minute, wow, it's like waking up from a dream. And you're like, oh, no, I'm in the real world again. Okay, so how do I need to function in the biological reality, and how can I co-create in the real world? So those are fantasy realities. So allow yourself to grab all the fantasy realities that you've created that no longer benefit you, and some may benefit you, but I'd encourage you to get rid of almost all of them, if not all of them. It allows you to be more present in the physical reality here. So all the fantasy realities that you're willing to let go of at this moment, allow yourself to put those in a pile and encapsulate all that. And everything from down below and back behind. And all fantasy realities up above, which is where a lot of them, mine were. And from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, and body let go of those. Body let go, those aren't yours. Those don't belong here. And can we destroy and create attachment to those and shrink those down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose
I
that.
choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, signify, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. Vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify. And if you had that pattern, which I did, what you want to do is every day or so, again, keep coming back to this and clearing those, and intend that you are no longer going to create in a fantasy reality. You're no longer going to live in a fantasy reality. Basically, it's a coping mechanism for being in a synthetic reality. If you get out of that and choose to exit the synthetic reality, come back down to the actual planet, and it feels like a less than thing, like you're coming down to, allow yourself to come back down to the authentic, nurturing, symbiotic reality. Go spend time out in nature and allow yourself to ground, and from that space, clear all of those fantasy realities, and keep clearing those, and intend to not go back into those fantasy realities, and intend to create in a physical reality, and things will change for you. Almost, we're in the closing stages here. More complex clearings. You'll notice that for some of these things, for some people, you can clear enough of these constructs and the whole false light reality just kind of, you see it for what it is, and it starts to kind of drift away as you come back down to this reality. And for other people, it's more tangly and it's more involved and convoluted. If you find that you are having difficulty with being your authentic self, if you find that you have difficulty even knowing who you are, so let's try first. So what is everything that prevents you from being your authentic self and knowing who you are as an infinite being? And everything, all that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I choose that. And encapsulate all. Everything from down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yeah, I choose that.
Yes,
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, null, void, null, void. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, make, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. So what I found, and the suggestion that I have, is that it's easier to do maintenance clearing every day. I do it every morning in the shower. I've got it's called Back to Me. It's a package of clearings that I have that actually I've found what are the things that snag me and snag other people. Like sometimes I could be contracted. I could have entities, aliens, gods, false light stuff. I can be in other universes or other frequencies, and that includes synthetic realities. No, I'm sorry, that's a separate one. I can be in synthetic realities. I have implanted mind or be in synthetic mind. I could be kind of stuck in feeling information rather than processing it by my infinite being. I kind of have it stuck in my body. I can be not present or aligned in my body. I could be like out of alignment. And if you're in false light, there's a lot of like, you don't want to be in the body because there's so much weird stuff going on. And it's so awkward and uncomfortable because the body's held in a synthetic space and it's got other stuff manipulating that it doesn't feel good to be in there. So you end up hanging out outside your body, or your body is angled in a different direction. We clear those, or fracture, and I'll talk more about that. So like, it's just this simple clearing process that every day I go through. I just scan, I go down this color block here and go, do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? And whichever one's light, I just run those clearings. And there are days where I can intuitively do it, and other days I'm just so tangled I have no clue. Doesn't happen too often anymore. But if you're really tangled, you just go down in order, just do all of them, and by the end of them, you're clear. So whether you use this or whether you use your own process, I recommend that you every day do some maintenance clearing, because overnight funky stuff or things you pick up during the day, even maybe at the end of the day before you go to bed, clear. And I found it easier to clear every day a little bit than to get over a week or 2 weeks or a month, get so mired down that it takes me days and days and days to dig out. So I spend the whole time in hell before I finally gets bad enough and I dig out, versus I just keep clearing every day and I just stay clear. So that concept I'd like to leave you with is just every day clear, get yourself back to being you, authentic, feeling good and aligned. And life just is a whole lot better than if you let it build up and pile down, my interesting point of view. So then the other clearing is, and I've recently kind of come to an understanding that a lot of us have these gifts and capacities that actually have engaged us in what I call covert, unacknowledged military programs. And they may not all be military in a formal sense, but they're these highly structured programs that happen outside of your normal reality. Like, you don't necessarily even remember that you've engaged them, but we have found that we have these gifts and capacities that connect us, that they're so potent that, like, why would false light and all these other programs bother to waste their time with us, right? Like, who am I? Like, I'm nothing. Like, who cares, right? So when you start to dig deeper into the truth of us, you find that we actually have a lot of really wicked cool gifts and capacities. And some of those gifts and capacities, these other energies understand and have sought to utilize you for. And so I want to say, let's do clearing around this. So what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around this, or anything else that I've engaged so far in this session? Wow. And can we put all of that in the pile?
Yep.
Yeah, I choose that.
I choose that.
I choose that.
And encapsulate everything down below, and back behind, up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile. Take a step back from that. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yep.
Yeah, I choose that.
I choose that. Boo! Vaporize, say goodbye. And let me explain. Actually, let me just ask you questions. So don't try to think about this, because none of this will make any sense. But just see if it feels light for you. So, Truth, how much were you involved in covert? So, Truth, were you involved in covert, unacknowledged military programs or something else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
I did
Truth,
military programs.
yeah, I sense both in here, and you may have something else too that goes outside of the military programs. So, Truth, were you involved in technology that sent you off-world on missions or
Yes.
something else?
Yes.
Yes, I have
Yes.
that one.
Yes.
And Truth, were you trained to use technology that utilized time travel or something else?
Yes.
Yes, I got that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Yep. Okay. So a lot of us have actually, and your mind has no way to deal with this because a lot of it's been kind of erased and segmented into these isolated parts that I call fractures. Like it's an experience that you have had on some level, and I'm not going to attempt to define it. It's a very long conversation, but how they eliminate that from your reality and make you think you're just a normal person living a normal life and all the weird stuff is just not true, is they'll segment that part of your consciousness, that experience, off in a little room. And this experience is in a little room, and that's 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 in a little room. And your reality becomes a reality of these little rooms all over the place. And sometimes you might meander into those rooms, and other rooms you would never go. Many of these rooms you would never go because there's information in there about your gifts, your capacities, and things you've done that don't fit into the world that is out here that you think is normal. Anyway, if you have this up, I'd like you to check. So, Truth, how many fractures, alters, or containments do you currently have? Do you have none? Do you have less than 500? Do you have more than 500?
And more.
More.
I have less.
Cool. Well, you've been clearing them. Yeah. Okay. So if you find that you have more than 500, I recommend that you do something that I've developed, and I needed to develop it just because I was involved in all this stuff as well. And I would every so often find that these rooms would, as I'm clearing and clearing and clearing, like I'm also clearing parts of the walls that are containing this information. And so all of a sudden, like walls would start to disintegrate, and that information would start to flood in my reality of just weird ass stuff that didn't fit in my life for this reality. And it would just screw with me for days, weeks, months, until I could untangle it, clear it, blah, 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 blah. And that happened for years. And ultimately, I got a sense of what was going on, and I found a structured clearing process that clears those out. It like actually goes and looks for the ones that are available to be cleared and strips those down. And it takes a while running that clearing before you get all or most of them. But symptoms of false light, if you feel like you're lost and you can't get back, false light. Some of these are also false light. Symptoms of being in a fracture. So what happens is that aspect can break open and flood your reality. And you end up like in this other world, like you're not here. And it's bizarre because you've done all these weird things that you don't have a memory of, so you don't have a way of connecting to it. So you feel like you've lost yourself and you can't get back. You feel like you're triggered. So how many of these, when you feel these are symptoms. You're triggered, you're unable to clear or be aware, like no matter what you normally clear, it doesn't work. You clear and clear and clear, things seem to come back. You get stuck in a victim space and you can't get out. You just, like, no matter what you do, you seem victim. You feel like you're trapped in some old past or containment that you can't get out of. You feel like you've slipped backwards into unconsciousness, like nothing has ever changed. Like you did all this clearing and now you feel like you've never done anything at all. You feel helpless, discouraged, irritable, paranoid. You have these intense random emotional states. Heavier, lighter is just totally jumbled and confused. You feel alien or that you don't belong here. You're feeling like you're not connected to your body, the planet, this reality, or your direction or flow in life. you feel like you have these odd flashbacks to past times in your life or some other life, but they don't actually fit in this reality, if your body's behaving differently or oddly, like it's just strange and you can't seem to do anything about it, and if you've tried everything else and nothing else is working, you may be in a fracture. Actually, you're highly likely in a fracture, which has to do with all this weird stuff that I don't have the space or time to talk about here. But if this stuff is up or real or true for you, I encourage you to either join our program of Be Your Brilliance, where we do this and many, many other things, or you just get this product that basically has this clearing and has all these different audio tracks and video tracks that guide you through it, and I will help you to clear. Once you get the flow of these, you'll be able to do this on your own. And it takes a bit to clear. If you have, like, I had thousands of them. If it may take you a bit to clear all those, but once you've cleared them, you just have like space, and life just gets a whole lot easier. So that's fracture. If you have any of those symptoms, you may want to explore that. And the last thing is that if your body's been taken over and you constantly feel like you've got entities and things that are just interfering with your reality constantly, continuously, do those clearings that we've done so far. Just keep repeating them. If it doesn't go away, my recommendation is you need something that's going to take you and expand your awareness and put you back in charge again. And I have a couple other products. The Take Back Your Body program that I did, Be Your Brilliance. And actually, if you're in the Be Your Brilliance, you get access to everything I've got. Like, whatever you need, I'm going to get you. So it doesn't matter. That may be the least expensive way to do it. I don't know, whatever. But so daily clearings are helpful, and doing the fracture resolving is helpful, because it's like you're in this false reality and construct, highly manipulated reality, and you want to, one, become aware of that, and then two, learn how to get rid of all those energies and re-empower yourself to take back control again. And you actually can do that. It actually is possible. All of this stuff that the false light has is predominantly smoke and mirrors. What I've learned about the false light is it's predominantly illusion to trick you into letting go of your gifts, your capacities, your potency, your strengths. And they actually don't have a lot of power. They seem like they're very powerful and that they can take away your free will, but they can't. But they're brilliant mindfuck manipulators that trick you into limiting yourself. And they use that to their advantage. So that's kind of the core of the false light. They invert, they take their darkness and they flip it to this synthetic high frequency, and they build this whole reality around that, and they invite you up into that supposed high frequency, which is actually connected to a very dark, heavy, twisted, not very happy place that they'll invite you into. And it's all just an illusion. It really is all just an illusion, and it requires you to buy into it. And the more you comprehend and can see these things, the more you can choose and decide, no, I am not doing that anymore. I am letting go of that stuff. And your reality just starts to change and you exit from it. I was totally wrapped up in all this stuff, and I was able to walk out of it and kind of record what I did along the way. And that's basically what this project is, these series of videos and this book is been my process out of it and what I've learned from being in it. But the message I want to leave you with is you can exit that and you can get to your natural state where you're back to your gifts, capacities, and you feel strong and potent and powerful. And that's what I'd like to invite you into, is how can you step into that and be the brilliance that you came here to be. Ta-da! So that's clearing false light. thank you for joining me today in going through this, and I encourage you to keep moving and clearing as much of the stuff as you can. There's one more module that we have, and that's the fourth one, and that's where we're going to look at relationships and love, and there's a whole other layer of, and once you see this, the more you see it, you'll see it's like in everything, but they've really saturated the whole love and relationships department, and I want to show you what that looks like in a way where you see it, and it'll help all of your relationships once you recognize that. So that's the fourth module. If you haven't downloaded the ebook yet, you want to get that because it's got more information in it. And thank you for joining me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Jaden. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you.